Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and today I'm looking at some custom Pokemon TCG cards. I have not done this on my Pokemon channel recently, and I've never done it with cards that you have made, you the viewers. And if you want to do this, you can join my Discord server, link down below in the description, I think. It might be in the comments section. It's in one of those two. And I'm actually currently doing a bit of a contest where you can design Evolution EX evolutions, and they're EXs, so they don't have to be Terra EXs or Stellar EXs. They can be though. And yeah, let's just hop right in though. There's some awesome cards here. A lot of them are Evolution EXs or just regular Evolutions, but you can get some inspiration from these. And I'm sorry, I don't remember who made all the cards. I don't have it pulled up here. I don't just want to be showing Discord. I mean, I could, but I'm not going to be doing that today. But you can check out the Discord server for yourself to see people talk about these cards. And also, I got one really exciting announcement. I will be making it in Discord as well. I'm going to be bringing back the random decks format thing, where pretty much it's exactly what it sounds like. You get randomized decks for you. It was kind of fun before, but it had some issues. Notably, the cards were all really boring. It was all the cards from Scarlet and Violet, all the single prizers, but some were just super boring. Some were like just unfun, for lack of a better term, but some were really cool. And so I've hand collected, or hand picked a bunch of cards that are really cool. But let's talk about these cards first. And these are the first few are actually just Giratinas. Some of these are mine, most of them are not. This one is, I believe, made by Colin. We got the ability Distortion Gate, and I have looked at this one, although I don't remember it very well. But first of all, Origin Form Giratina, 200 HP for a dragon is quite a bit, and I'll be giving some feedback and also just talking about how like the cool things about them. But oh, also the bar here. I don't actually know if these are right because I don't know what's right, but they look right. So I generally don't do that because I forget. But Distortion Gate here, once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon onto your bench, your opponent switches out their active Pokemon and your opponent chooses. You can only use this ability once per turn as well. There's some slight, I don't know if grammatical mistakes is the right term, but mistakes that some are just like spelling wise wrong, or not spelling wise, but like grammatically, capitalization. Honestly, it's really complicated with Pokemon. I usually try to directly copy text so I make sure it's right. But the idea is very clear here. And so this is pretty interesting as it's like Iron Bundle kind of, or even Fion, which is it's like Iron Bundle. It does this, except this is more powerful. And then Destroy the Lands here for Grass Psychic, colorless, and I believe this is the Pokecard Maker as well, with made by Ashfield, which is a really useful. Linked in my Discord server, and it's so nice. And it allows you to make cards really easily, and it's not what I used for all of them, but I think it's what a lot of people used. And Destroy the Lands here, 230 to your opponent's bench Pokemon, really strong attack here, but it's very expensive as well. 200 HP on the basics, like a ton, but it's a really cool card here. I think it's not super broken. The HP is super high, but it's pretty fun. It's a strong single prizer. And the attack it's really good, but also really expensive, but pretty cool here. I think we're going to see some more exciting. I don't know if more exciting is right, but more spicy cards, more flashy. But this one's really cool. Something like this certainly I could see in standard, cleaned up a little bit with lower HP. I think the damage is okay. I think it wouldn't be this high in standard, but I think it's not. I mean, it's pretty good, especially being copied by Regidraco V-Star. But I guess it's not that like good. It's about the same as Dragapult EX. It's actually worse. So then you also, I guess there are certain scenarios where it's better, but they're super niche. It's like Mist Energy. And then the ability is really cool as well. But then we got Giratina V Union. Oh, I didn't show the full card, but this is Giratina V Union. It's probably in the thumbnail, and this card took me so long to make because there aren't V Union templates, so I had to make my own V Union template. And if anyone wants that, you can just message me in Discord or in the comments. I can't really send it to you in the comment section, but I got it. It took me like way too long because I used PowerPoint. That's what I used for all my thumbnails. That's what I used here. It's a little blurry, but the template's not. But Giratina V Union here. I think Discord made it blurry, by the way. I am looking at the pictures essentially from Discord. But flower selecting, it has just abilities and attacks of all the Giratina V-Star Lost Zone deck. It kind of combines it all into one card. And we have, Lost Impact here. It has Shred, except it does more damage. It's all colorless, and then Lost Skill. It's a mixture of Season Skill, the ability on Blood Moon Ursaluna EX, and Firmarin's Lost Provisions ability. So if you have 3 cards in the Lost Zone, Shred is free. It reduces the attack cost of only Shred, not Lost Impact, Lost Mind here, or Abyssal Experiment. and so it's based on those. Also 310 HP. It is Dragon type, and Lost Mine, it's Sableye's Lost Mine. And then you have Flower Selecting, Comfy's Flower Selecting, and Abyssal Experiment. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck and put any number into the Lost Zone, put the others into your hand. I said it the wrong way around, but it's like Colossus Experiment or Abyssal Seeking. It's a mixture of those two. The names aren't the most creative or best, but yeah, I just put this together. I thought it was like a fun idea to take all these cards and combine them into one. Also, the background was I just like put a bunch of different Giratina cards and like pushed them together. So you can see it looks a little weird here. It looks much better than I thought it would. It looks kind of messy, but I think it kind of the mistakes get like here, like what is even going on here, but the mistakes kind of get cleaned up because it's messy, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I think in the full card is on the thumbnail. Hopefully, I might be doing multiple different thumbnails, but hopefully they all have the V Union. I think it's fun. V Unions are pretty bad. This one's pretty weak because V Unions have issues, and then if you lost on a V Union piece, you're like in a really bad position. But I think it's around the same strength as the other V Unions, and yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on this one though, because I want to show off other people's ones. Oh, this one's also mine though. Flareon EX, by the way. The art is by Peregrine Jasmine. I just took it off online. It said it was Creative Commons, but it is someone's art. I just want to shout out to the artist. But this card I just kind of threw together for a thumbnail. But I think I got a few people. As there are evolutions, the reason I'm doing the evolution contest is because we are getting evolutions of all. We're getting EX evolutions, I believe, of all the types. They might all be Terras. They might all be stellars. I don't think they are though. There was a Sylveon EX that is a stellar, but that's actually separate. I think we're getting 2 Sylveon EXs. So Flareon EX here though, Flare Cheer. Also, it's kind of hard to read. This one was made using the Pokecard Maker. The attacks of your Pokemon EX in play that evolve from Eevee do 30 more damage to your opponent's active. You can't double this ability, but it does apply to itself. It does 260 for 3, has 260 HP. It's a little strong. Some of the people in my Discord server said that the ability, or the attack combined with the ability 290, it's quite powerful. So I probably overtuned it a little bit here. But yeah, I just wanted to make something pretty simple here that kind of synergizes with the other evolutions. This one is made by, I think it was made by Resident Clinton. I could be wrong. But we see, and I have not looked at really into these cards much at all. Evocall, though, and 240 HP Psychic Stage 1. Once per turn, you may search your deck for a Pokemon that evolves from a benched Eevee and place it on top to evolve it. That's really interesting. Again, the wording's a little off. It's I don't know. It's not quite right. It should be like onto one of your bench Pokemon to evolve it. It's supposed to be placed on top. There are a few things, but they're not that big of a deal. This is pretty cool. This allows you to get the evolution in play instantly. There is an Eevee in Expanded. There are a few Eevees like this that allow you to essentially evolve instantly with is it Energy Evolution? I don't actually know the name of the ability, and I think there are 2 different ability names actually that are like the same ability, but you can evolve instantly. This kind of gives you the same effect, but only after you already have a Sylveon EX in play, which is really cool. Then Doom Ribbon, 200 damage for Psychic Colorless. You can only use this attack if 5 evolution Pokemon EX with different names are on your bench that evolve from Eevee, excluding Sylveon EX. Your opponent shuffles bench Pokemon into their deck until there are only 2 remaining. Also, I don't know if this was before or after the Stellar Sylveon was revealed. It has an attack moderately similar to this one. It's different, but it's related, and this is really cool. It's probably actually not. I think it's very much like Sylveon GX as well. Some of these are like the GXs. All the evolutions had GXs, VMAXs, EXs, old EXs or middle EXs. And so these cards might be based on those. This ability is really cool. The attack seems really difficult to set up because that's a ton of evolutions, and you can only have 1 Sylveon, but this is really cool. It doesn't work with reversal, so the energy seems a little difficult to get on, but still a really cool card, and I really love this one. Yeah. Next up, we got this Espeon EX. This one might be from Colin. Again, I'm not entirely sure. But we have the Psych Up ability here, which is attacks of your Psychic Pokemon do 20 more damage, and this ability stacks. Also 280 HP, so much higher for a Stage 1 EX, and Psychic Signal 50 for 1 Psychic. Search your deck for up to 2 energy and attach them to your Pokemon. That's pretty cool. I don't know. I think it's in any way you want. This ability, I just really, it's really cool. It's nothing like groundbreaking. We've seen abilities like it. It's similar to my evolution ability, but this one works with the with a few different evolutions. Well, notably with Espeon and then with Sylveon, because Sylveon, fairy in the video game, was fairy in the TCG, but fairy got Thanos snapped out of existence, so it is no longer fairy type. So this will work with both of those, and we'll talk about some other really cool evolutions later as well. There are some custom evolutions, not just custom cards. The attack here is pretty underwhelming, but its high HP balances out. So I think this card's really cool, and the ability is really cool. It's relatively straightforward, similar to Flareon, but certainly different as well. It's not just evolution focused, but it's focused around psychic Pokemon, but could be used in other decks. Next, we got Vaporeon EX. This one is by Ryan Bound, and this one is a Terra, so it's immune to bench damage. And the attack return here for one colorless, 130. You may draw until you have 6 cards in hand. We've seen this attack time and time again. It's a classic, and it's a really cool one. 130 is really high damage, but well, it's high damage for this attack effect, but also it's not that high. 130 is if it was just 130, that's just okay. But with the drawing, it becomes really solid. 240 HP is on the lower end as well. I think it's on the lower end. I'm honestly not sure. People don't really play Stage 1 EXs. The only one that sees a lot of play is Goldengo, which doesn't even see that much play, but that one's 260. But Vaporeon EX with Dual Splash as well. Also, a lot. This one obviously unfinished. A lot of them are missing certain things. I'm sure mine were missing certain things, but they do have, the attacks and ability. Oh no, they don't even all have names on the attacks or abilities, but the text is all there and very clear. I think, as I said, I haven't looked at them all super much at all. Then we have Dual Splash, 60 to 2 points Pokemon for water colorless. This is interesting. This attack seems much weaker than Return. In terms of literal damage output, it's actually less. It is spread though, so that's really interesting. Again, you can't use reversal energy, but this is a really cool card still. I think Dual Splash is it's an attack. I think it's the same name as we've seen on Dugong and some other Pokemon, and it's really solid. I would probably reduce its attack cost by 1, but it's still really good. Maybe reducing it by 1 would make it too good as well. But I think it's a really cool card with the return. I think that's an interesting attack. Attacks that just draw you cards generally don't see a lot of play. There's Blissa EX, which I believe also has return and is draw till you have 6 cards in hand, but it's much more expensive. It's really an afterthought a lot of the time as well. It's played because of its high HP, solid damage output, really unique ability, but the effect of the attack drawing cards is also really cool. Next up, also from Ryan, we have Umbreon EX, and this one is again a Terra Pokemon, and again doesn't change type. Which I do actually think the official cards will do as well. They will be Terra Pokemon of the same type. It would be really funny and also really sad if they all were like Terra colorless. That would be super boring because the whole thing of the Eevees is the different types. But I don't think they'll do that. That would be really underwhelming. But Umbreon EX here. Shadow Ball, 60 snipe 20 opponent's Pokemon, and it applies weakness and resistance. This other one, yeah, this one doesn't apply weakness and resistance, but this one, the Umbreon does, and that's pretty cool. It's not. Darkness weakness is pretty underwhelming, to be honest. It hits certain Pokemon, though. It hits Gardevoir EX for weakness, and I might hit some of the Ralts. I don't remember which Ralts are weak to what type, but I don't think it hits Curlier for weakness. But still really cool here. And I could be wrong about the Curlier weakness thing, but I don't remember, to be honest. But it's pretty cool here, being able to hit weakness on the bench. I think that's a fun thing. And there is no darkness resistance as far as I'm aware. Also no HP. Was there HP on the other one? I don't know. But no HP here. Oh, there was, but no HP here. Probably somewhere, 240 to 280 in that range. Moonlight Blade here, though, it does 100 for 3 energy, darkness, colorless. If this Pokemon has any damage counters on it, though, it does 180. That's pretty cool. I believe this attack was on Umbreon V. And that's a really solid chunk of damage. I feel like it's a little weak, but it's probably tuned fine. It's not necessarily like super competitive level damage, but certainly a number we could see on an actual card. This card I really like the design of as well. And it has 3 retreat, which is high. The Vaporeon had only one retreat. But I think this card's really cool. And Darkness Pokemon, you have Dark Patch, which allows you to accelerate Darkness energy, but there are other ways. It gets a little complicated as well. Dark Patch only works on the bench, but you have the Eevee on the bench, you can't Dark Patch to it. Some interesting interactions there, but another really cool card. And yeah, so next we have these cards from Sambam. Uh, and these are, well, as you can see, this is not a regular evolution. This is Boulderon, no, Boulderon? Boulderon, I'm not sure. But it's a really cool card. There are evolutions of a bunch of different Pokemon. I don't know if it's all the types. I think there's a ghost one. There's some of the types that don't have them in the TCG, and some that don't have it in the video game. So I believe there is an evolution of every type. Maybe not dragon, or I'm just flipping through them on my phone in front of me. But there is at least a metal and a fighting, because there are no metal or fighting evolutions. There's the 8 main types, which are you got Flareon, you got Leafeon, but then for water you have both Glaceon and Vaporeon. For lightning you have Jolteon. For darkness you have Umbreon. For Psychic, you have both Sylveon and Espeon, though, with the type change from Fairy to Psychic. And then there is no Metal or Fighting evolutions. I don't think I missed one. That would be kind of embarrassing if I did. And then there's colorless, obviously. Eevee, Dragon. There isn't any evolution, but Dragon's a very different type as well. But Boulderon here, really cool. 270 HP, so on the higher end, which I think fits a... Yeah, is this rock? Or is it... I think it's rock, not ground. But... Oh, yeah, it's probably rock with Rock Blast for fighting colorless. It does 40, flip 2 coins for each heads, discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. And if both are heads, discard all energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. So this is pretty interesting. With Disruption, I think the flipping 2 coins thing is really cool. It means that coin flips don't feel super random, but there is still an element of randomness that is kind of fun. Pokemon has a lot of randomness with just card drawing, so I think it's cool, though. And so is Pokemon is the E backwards, or am I just seeing things? I might just be seeing things, but yeah. And then Colossal Wrecking here does oh yeah, no, the thing on the E is backwards. I don't know how that happened. That could be this is again the Ashfield card maker, so it could have to do with that. I always forget. I think it's Alt 223. That could be the wrong symbol, and it depends on what device you're on as well, I think. But yeah, then we have Colossal Wrecking, which does 230 for fighting colorless, and discard 2 fighting energy from this Pokemon. This attack's damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. That's really cool. Also, is that called an accent? I am no linguist. But yeah. Then that's pretty interesting. 230 hitting through effects. Pretty solid, pretty underwhelming to be honest. With the lack of fighting acceleration, there are options. There's Infernape, Garganacl, Claydol. There's some options, but they're all I guess fighting Pokemon just aren't that good right now. But Boulderon EX is a really cool card here. I really like the first attack with the coin flip dynamic. I think coin flips can be fun. Admittedly, double tails will happen and that'll feel really underwhelming. Double heads will feel really rough for your opponent, but I think it's still fair. I think it balances the coin flip nature really well. Also, I love the art here as well. Once we got the single prize Boulderon. 1.6 HP, really solid for a single prizer. Really high, honestly, but a lot of single prizers are really bad, so higher HP is probably a good thing. But Rocky Barrier here, 1 colorless. It does 20 during your opponent's next turn. If this Pokemon is full HP, it would be knocked out by damage from an attack. It's not, and its remaining HP becomes 10. That is an attack we see a lot. I think if there's a fighting evolution, like a actual fighting in the video game evolution, it would make a little more sense there. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know enough about the video game. But Fighting Fury Belt, no, sorry, not Fighting Fury Belt. Focus Sash and certain fighting Pokemon have had abilities like this, more so than Rock or Ground Pokemon, but still a really cool attack here, which is not an ability, despite what Live says, where if you attack with Torracat, or even if you don't attack with Torracat, Frostlass will start eating you up, which is an issue, but Rocky Barrier here, really cool attack here that's very defensive. You can actually kind of loop it, but it's difficult as it's an evolution. You can't penny loop it. You could Turbo Scenario loop it, but that's kind of sketchy because you have the issue of Professor Turbo Scenario removing the cards attached, most notably the energy, right? And then you're on evolution, so you need to evolve. Then Tough Slam here, fighting colorless, 80, 20 more for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Pretty cool, especially with its high HP. And if you get hit by a hit with Rocky Barrier up, then you can hit for absurd amounts of damage. And that's also why we have the high HP here. That's me hitting 380 damage, which is a lot, but really cool Pokemon here. So I think I like this one more than the uh, Multiprizer. I think the attack on the Multiprizer, the first one specifically, is a bit more unique, but this one is a really cool card with two cool attacks here. Next, we have Glaceon. The rest of the cards, I believe, are all made by Sambam 111, which it does say at the bottom here. Oh, yo, it's 10 out of types. Let's go. But we got this first attack. Oh, no art here. They got the Eevee, and no attack names. This first attack, Water. Flip a coin. If heads, search your deck for up to 5 Water Pokemon. Or no, Water Energy. Attach them to your Pokemon any way you like. And then shuffle your deck. If tails, this Pokemon does 50 damage to itself. Ooh, that's interesting. It's not the best, but we've seen this attack before, by the way. We've seen it, I think, in Standard. Wait, is Kingler VMAX in Standard? I don't remember. It's not very good. But I know Lone Executor V is in Standard, and it's the same thing, but Grass. It doesn't damage itself. And then for 3 Water, it does 50, 30 more for each Water Energy attaches to Pokemon. Pretty standard. Admittedly, I do think this would fit Vaporeon a little more than Glaceon, just because Water Pokemon tend to have the energy ramp attacks as opposed to ice Pokemon. But I'm sure there's some ice Pokemon that have energy ramp attacks as well. I mean, wait, no, that's silly. Yeah, Chimpao EX has an energy ramp attack. I normally think of Pokemon like Blastoise. There's a Keldeo EX and expanded. Um, there's a bunch of Pokemon like them. They're water types, but Glaceon is water type in the TCG. And then Chimpao EX, it's a little different, but similar, and that is certainly metal type it's metal weak, so it's an ice type in the video game, just like Glaceon. A really cool card here, though. And we got Glaceon EX with 240 HP. How much did the single prizer? It had 140. So we got 240 here. And it has this ability which says this Pokemon gets 20 more HP for each water energy attached to it. Okay, I was going to comment on its low HP, but you get lots of energy on this. This is really tanky. I love this ability. I think tankiness is something that I wish we saw more of in the Pokemon TCG, because a lot of Pokemon are just getting one-shot a lot of the time, maybe two-shotted, but it's also very straightforward with the attack amounts. Some, have more unique attacks like Charizard EX, where its attack damage output changes depending on essentially the game state, which is kind of cool, but also like it's very predictable and it's not changing that much, maybe changing from a two-shot to a one-shot, and Bravery Charm can push you over or under those amounts, which is kind of interesting, but I think this is more interesting though, as you have a lot of control over the energy. Might be a little too much with Max Caliber, but then you can always like send up Flutter Mane. There are some really cool interactions. And then for Water Colorless, 160 does 30 damage to 2 your opponent's bench Pokemon. Classic attack here. I think fits Glaceon EX very well, but it's not super interesting, but also it's fine. Also, I think it's really nice that this Pokemon doesn't have an energy ramp style attack, and this is something we've seen with Oh, I'm trying to think of an example. I'm trying to think of Pokemon with abilities that get like big HP with lots of energies. I know there's Orthworm, but that one doesn't have an energy ramp style attack, I don't believe. But um, there's Wishiwashi, but yeah, so there's Wishiwashi, which is not standard, rotated 6 months ago or whatever. But it had its ability that said, I think if you had 3 or more energy attached to it, and I'm slightly misremembering, but it gets a bunch of extra HP. So that was a fixed damage, fixed energy thing, or fixed HP, fixed energy thing. And then you had the attack, which was an energy ramp style attack. So this one is an HP ramp style ability, and then the attack is a fixed amount, which I think is nice if they're both energy ramp style things. Energy ramp, by the way, I mean that if you put in more energy, you're always going to get more out. Here, if you put 5 energy on, the attack doesn't change versus if you just had 3. The ability does, but the attack doesn't. I think the ability is really cool. I think the attack's solid, nothing crazy, but I think it fits the Pokemon really well. Next, we have another Umbreon here. Umbreon also probably my favorite evolution. It might be Jolteon or Flareon. I like fire, and my favorite type's lightning / electric. I think Jolteon is a moderately cool Pokemon, but I think Umbreon's really cool. It's the most popular evolution, I'm pretty sure. I know there are some hot takes about evolutions, and a lot of takes about evolutions because they're really popular. But we have this Umbreon 130 HP, Shadow Draw once during your turn. If this Pokemon is in the active, you may discard a card from your hand, then draw till you have 6 cards in hand. You can only use one of this ability per turn as well. Then the attack here, Darkness Colorless 100, but it needs damage counters on it, or it doesn't do anything. This is cool. The attacks cool, nothing groundbreaking. It's actually similar to the Umbreon before, which I think was made by someone else. Yeah, it was made by Ryan Bound, but this one, similar idea. You need damage counters on you. Um, and so that's like, I mean, it's a thing we see with an Umbreon a bunch. We don't always see it, but we sometimes see it. But the ability here I really like. It's a very good draw. It's pretty insane, but it needs to be in the active. So you could put a rescue board on it. You cannot use Beach Court because it's an evolution, and you could do certain other things. But Big Air Balloon doesn't work. It's not a stage 2. Big Air Balloon, by the way, I played in a video. I don't know if the video is out yet or not, but I played it. It was really funny. The deck was that video was so bad. Live has some issues, shall we say? But and the deck was really bad as well. The video's not terrible. It's the games were really bad, I should say. But yeah, this ability is really cool, but somewhat awkward as well. Forcing yourself to switch can cause issues because it's awkward, but that's what makes it good. I think this ability is also really nice. It's pretty much always going to be working. I mean, your opponent could Flutter Mane you as well, but that's also cool. I think Flutter Mane is a really interesting Pokemon in the standard format that there's counterplay to, and it has counterplay to certain things as well. But I think it's pretty cool. It's somewhat of a hard counter to Lost Zone, but not really. It does other things and doesn't auto beat Lost Zone. And same thing with this Umbreon. You could put this in Evolution box deck as well, and I just really like this card. Next, we got Umbreon EX, and this one has 250 HP, and its ability, when you evolve one of your Pokemon into this Pokemon, you may switch one of your opponent's bench to the active. This is the same as Umbreon VMAX, I'm pretty sure. Literally same ability, and it's good. We've seen it in Lycanroc EX, and that was super. No, sorry, Lycanroc GX. I believe Lycanroc was Gen 7. So there is a Lycanroc EX in Standard, but then we saw it on we've seen it a bunch of times, and we've seen similar abilities as well. But I think Umbreon here is really cool. It's nothing we haven't seen before, but it's an ability I liked. I thought it was really cool in Umbreon VMAX. I didn't see a ton of play, and I didn't play it that much, but it was good. It also had a really boring attack. Umbreon VMAX. It was weird. It was single strike. It was a bit of an odd Pokemon, but not because it didn't like on the there's just looking at it, it didn't look super weird, but it couldn't find a specific niche. It had certain roles that were like cool, but not perfect. Its damage output was kind of low for a single strike Pokemon. Its ability was good, but could be turned off by Path, so it felt awkward in Arceus. And its HP wasn't super high to be like super tanky. Um, but it also wasn't super easy to pay. But it was cool. But Umbreon EX also, I love the ability. Is what I'm saying. It's something that I think is fun. I know some people don't like gusting to be too easy, but also it's only once like per Umbreon. Like you could technically scoop it up as well, but um, you're not getting a ton of value. You're not instant value out of scooping it up. But I think this Umbreon EX, I like the ability. It's not unique or original, but it's good. And the attack 130 for Darkness Colorless during your opponent's next turn. Prevent all damage and effects done to this Pokemon by Pokemon EX and V. I think this is cool as well. It's I don't think we've seen anything like it on Umbreon. I could be wrong, but I can't think of it. Nothing super similar to this. But it's a classic effect. We see like Mimikyu with the ability that's this, except this means that if your opponent plays Iron Bundle or um, one of the evolutions that I don't remember, was it another Umbreon? Um, so I'm looking through. No, I don't remember what card it was. Oh yeah, the Giratina, the Origin Form Giratina. If they play something like that, if they play Iron Bundle, they play I don't know. So if they force you to switch out, then you will have to, and then you get bossed, or if you don't get bossed, you can get sniped on the bench. There are certain things that will go past this, things that just hit through effective attacks. But I think this is nice. It's an effect that I think is pretty cool. I think it's pretty fair. I know some people don't like it, but I think most people are fine. They like things that stop multi-prizes, because multi-prizes are very good. They're not the only viable decks, I guess, but like, what else? There's Snorlax, there's Lost Zone, and those are really boring. And then there's also the Ancient Box decks. There's a few different Ancient decks, and they're okay. They're certainly solid decks, but they're not like the best decks in the game. I don't think anyone's really saying that. They're certainly arguably top 10, but they're not like top 5. I think most people wouldn't say that. So of course this is an evolution, or it's not. It is an evolution, but it's also a multi-prizer. But This is interesting. By the way, if Pokemon actually made a card like this, they definitely say it hits through effects of attacks because that's what they do. Look at Alolan Vulpix V-Star, Corso Mask, Umbreon EX, Mimikyu. Um, let's see. I mean, if you look at Belly Bowl, like literally Terapagos EX, literally every Pokemon like this, they always say it hits through, so you don't get in a walling battle with yourself. But that doesn't really matter that much because you could just get in a walling battle with something else. So yeah, Umbreon EX though, it's this one's is really fun. Next we got Jolteon. This one has the ability Cheerful Charge. By the way, I didn't say this. The ability I had was based off of the Evolution GXs, which had, oh wait, no, sorry, they're based on the single prizes that powered up the GXs, and this one is also based on those. Cheerful Charge attacks used by Pokemon that evolve from Eevee cost one colorless less. You can only use one Cheerful Charge ability at a time, though. And then this is cool. Obviously, it depends on what the Evolution EXs are, or Evolution in general. If they are all, colored energies, it doesn't matter. But this is cool. I think it makes a lot of sense, and yeah, I like it. And Lightning. Oh, by the way, I'm being like super positive. I just think these cards are cool. And I like seeing new cards, and these are ideas that are just from you, the community, and I like interacting with the community. So that's why I'm so in such a good mood. But Lightning, colorless, 120. If your opponent has any stage twos in play, it does 120 more. That's cool. I think it's very expensive. I'd reduce it by one. 240 for three is fair, I think. That would be one reversal energy as well. If you're playing evolutions, you very well maybe wanting to play reversal energy, but I think this is a pretty cool attack. I definitely think it could be cheaper. And it's also kind of random. Um, it doesn't make me think of Jolteon, but it's not bad. I think this is a cool attack that is something that I was gonna say we saw like with Kling Klang. It's not the same as Kling Klang, but it's similar. It's kind of countery. It's kind of countery to Lugia. It exactly one shots Lugia V Star. So that's what it feels like. I don't know if it's intended to be a Lugia counter, but it feels like that. It also wait, sorry, it doesn't exactly. It very easily one shots Lugia V Star with weakness, and then it will be one shotting Chimp EX. It will be one shotting Pidgeot EX. It will be one-shotting, or it'll be two-shotting Charizard EX. It'll be one-shotting Radiant Charizard. It does a lot of Radiant Charizard if it's in the Charizard deck. So I think this Jolteon's nice. Being Lightning, as I said, it hits weakness on Lugia V-Star, Pidgeot EX, and so that's really really good. It's very countery. Um, Definitely feels differently in design from these other ones. Okay, next we got Jolteon. I believe this is from the full art Jolteon. But okay, this one says it has an ability and 250 HP, free retreat as well. Free retreat, always cool. On stage ones, it's not that meaningful usually, but it's nice. When you evolve, oh, and we have seen free retreat Jolteons as well. When you evolve one of your Pokemon into this Pokemon, move any amount of energy from your Pokemon to your Pokemon that evolved from Eevee in any way you like. That's really interesting. Energy moving is a unique thing. It's not super unique, but it's also it's really interesting, right? We see energy moving with Energy Switch. We have seen Pokemon like Bronzong in the past, Aromatisse, Kling Klang, Hydreigon. I don't know. There's a bunch. I'm sure there's some in Standard. Is Dusknoir Standard? It might be. That card's so bad, but I guess there are worse ones, but Jolteon, it's a pretty cool ability here. Oh, minus damage. Minus damage is interesting, I guess. Two Lightnings, 280. This attack does 40 less damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So this is really interesting, especially with the new stadium coming out. But if they have five bench Pokemon, which is this is incentivizing your opponent to do, then you're hitting 80 damage. Okay, so 280 base is really strong, but they're definitely going to have at least one bench. So that's pushing it down to 240. They probably have 2 to 3, so this attack's somewhere 160, 200 range. Could be even lower, but even then it's still like okay. The ability is really cool, but it's like an on-play ability like the Umbreon EX, and I think this Jolteon ability is I love the ability. The wording is a little weird, but yeah, this Jolteon EX is super fun, and I think I think minus damage is interesting. It's always hard to find like a good way to use it. It's used sometimes. A lot of the time, it's used like if this Pokemon's damaged, you do less damage or something like that. And it's used for different things, but minus damage is always interesting to see how people want to use it. And yeah, I mean, it's just a really cool card. But this is going to be the end of part 1 of this video because I want to show off some more cards. But this video is already getting pretty long. But I hope you enjoyed. Consider liking and subscribing, hitting the bell, and joining the Discord server and submitting your own evolutions because this is a contest. I think I'll be running a tournament with the winning cards. We'll see, but I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you did too. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.